Amen. What it is. This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App. $ Deem by any means. Show your boys some love. It works. Show your boys some love. I'm begging. They say I'm broke. There go to PayPal at Dean by any means. Y'all see that heart with the $? It is that's the super thanks. It's much appreciated. You can press that at any time your heart desire. Say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. I just want to know, y'all, why content creators ain't talking about this. See, this is where Dame be coming from, and this is why y'all rocks with me, and this is why I appreciate y'all, because you could not like Dame opinions or do, but one thing you won't be able to say is I'm inconsistent. One thing you won't be able to say is I got different rules. One thing you won't be able to say is I don't keep the same energy for everybody. That's one thing that you won't be able to say. And there's so many fans from other fan bases that's not Gervonta Davis fans. People who may not like, I go hard on their favorite fighters. And they still be like, Deem, you's a real one. Deem, you're a real one. I appreciate what you bring to boxing, how your unbiasedness, ability to admit that you're wrong if you're wrong about something, keeping the same energy. And I appreciate y'all for that, because Brian Norman Jr., if you follow Dame on Twitter and a bunch of people that follow me that you see a bunch of times in the comments and on panels and things like that, not just me, but they could verify this. You got Brian Norman Jr. out there talking crazy. Somebody put a post up, basically something about jaronennis wanting to unify and things like that, and them hoping that these guys don't duck them and all that. Then Brian Norman Jr. hop in the comments and, oh yeah, y'all think it's sweet. I'm gonna show y'all real soon what it is. And y'all, he got more comments under his comment than the actual first post. On my mama, I swear to God, on my mama. He got more comments under his post than the guy who posted something that he was responding to. It's crazy how that worked. And I really did appreciate a lot of people in the comments holding Brian Norman Jr. accountable. This is how I know a lot of people agree with me. Why y'all not talking about this? Why y'all not talking about Brian Norman Jr. ducking jaronennis? But everybody got an opinion on jaronennis. But then letting Barrios and Amontes Stenhouse and Brian Norman Jr. just go about their life. That's the biggest problem in boxing right there. Everything ain't created equal, but all ducks are created equally and should be called out. If you're my thing is, and if you don't understand where I'm getting at, what I am saying is, more than anything in boxing, that should have the same energy no matter who the fighter is. When you talk crazy and then blatantly duck somebody, that needs to be talked about just as much as anybody else ducking. So if you think Jaron Booson is a duck, and you can have panels and make 5-10 videos about it, why y'all ain't got no videos on this? And why Brian Norman Jr. get more energy than Amontes Stenhouse and Mario Barrios? I have no problems with you talking about Brian Norman Jr. or Brian Norman Sr. because I'm not particularly that fond of the man. Go Greg Hackett. Go Greg Hackett by knockout. Let's go, my guy. But if we gonna call out ducks, call out all ducks. And especially from champions that's holding up divisions and stopping unifications and all of that great stuff. Now, you can say what you want to say about Richardson, Hitchison, and Liam Paro. They went in there and got it in their top competition, though. If you're not going to unify, you need to move out the way. I have no problem with y'all calling out ducks and calling this person a duck. Lomachenko, jaronennis, Shakur Stevenson. The problem I got is make sure you calling out Mario Barrios and Brian Norman Jr. and Amonte Stanionis just as much. Actually, they should be getting it more. I'm gonna tell you why the lesser names, say Mario Barrios and Amonte Stanionis, right? And Brian Norman Jr. You want to know why I think they should get it more? Because even ducking is publicity. Don't nobody care about y'all anyway. So whether we talking about you ducking, not ducking, it's more eyes on you. That's the thing. You're giving me a reason to talk about Mario Barrios because we do follow boxing as content creators. That is our job to sit up there and talk about the sport of boxing. And a lot of these fighters not even giving us nothing to talk about. So when you duck, oh, I'm definitely going to talk about it. Give me an excuse to talk about Amonte Stanionis. Give me an excuse to talk about Mario Barrios. Give me an excuse to talk about Brian Norman Jr. So Brian Norman Jr., don't take it personally, my dude, but just know you ducked the man 3 times. You're not going to get out here on Twitter and everywhere else and start talking crazy, my guy. No, if any spotlight we going to bring on you is that you're ducking. So make sure that if you running your mouth, because it ain't just your dad no more. See, I was letting you fall under the Devin Haney thing. Nah, it's you two. It's you two. I was parched. It's you too, my dude. You talking crazy. Your dad ain't post that. That was you. Make sure you take the fight then. Because we know we got the files. We know what y'all getting paid. And you got to pay taxes, lawyers, trainers, and all of that other stuff. Ain't nobody, put it like this, Brian Norman, ain't nobody trying to hear you turning down a $1.72 million, 1.2. People think that that's too much for you because it is. You wasn't about to get that number defending your title on the Keyshawn Davis undercard. So I literally know that is more than acceptable. That's how we know that it's more than acceptable. Because let's say you fighting Jaronennis is not even worth you getting 1.7 million for real. You was getting 99,000. This fight you was probably going to get around that same amount or a little bit more. So even if they offered you 500,000 for Jaronennis, you should be more than willing to take it because you're defending your title and in that position where you may have to unify. See, what you don't want to happen, Brian Norman Jr., is be in a situation where you're with Bob Arum and he makes you unify. And then it won't be for as big of a price. See, you talking to people who are oblivious to this boxing game. We know this boxing game, Brody. You're lucky Mario Barrios and Amonte Stanionis isn't with Top Rank. Because if you ask me, I don't even really think that he wants you to have the belt. To be honest, Brian Norman Jr., you might want to watch your back. I don't even think that he wants you to have the belt, to be honest. So you better keep your head on the swivel. And then when he putting people in position to challenge you, I'm just telling you what I know, bro. It won't be for that price. It won't be for 1.7 million. I can tell you that. You was already getting offered too much. People talking about you getting lowball, prove it. Can't say he's getting lowball when he's not even getting a tenth of that for his regular fights. Ain't nobody lowballing that, man. 1.2 was more than enough. That was too much. He's really only worth about 500, 600,000 to unify with Jaronennis. But I ain't even want to get on that topic. The man never made more than 100 bands in his career for any fight. He wasn't about to get that to defend his title. What are y'all talking about? He wasn't even about to get close to that to defend his title. So like I said, I don't got no problem with y'all calling people ducks and calling people out. All right, cool. No problem. Just make sure you got that same energy for Mario Barrios, Amonte Stanionis, Brian Norman Jr., and Lomachenko's, people like that. All of these people that's out here ducking, whether you want to say shakurstevenson, because look at what Keyshawn Davis doing. I have no problem you calling out ducks. Call out all of them because that's helping the sport of boxing, literally. Because, I mean, give us a reason. When was the last time you seen an Amonte Stanionis video? Or a Mario Barrios video? or a Brian Norman. Well, we've been getting Brian Norman Jr. videos, and that's just because a lot of us content creators are African Americans and from the same places that he from. So Mario Barrios, with his daddy talking all crazy on all these platforms, he might get a little more attention. But at the end of the day, he ain't a name neither. We ain't talking about him because of he put it like this: the energy we put into Brian Norman Jr. Mario Barrios and Stanionis should not be getting no passes neither. They need to be talked about the same exact way. You're going to call Jaronennis a duck. No problem. You're going to call shakurstevenson a duck. No problem. You're going to call Vasil Lomachenko a duck. Really don't got no problem with that. These other guys, just because they're not big names, you should want to talk about them ducking. Because that gives us an excuse to even talk about them in the first place. To even hype up the fight, to get it to be a fight that people want to see. Because if they see enough videos about Brian Norman Jr. or Montes Stanionis, Mario Barrios, it might start perking people's ears up a little bit. But y'all already know what this is, though, right? The realest, Mr. Consistent, Beam, by any means. And I holla at y'all.